Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to the Fighters Rep Podcast, episode 57, Beterbiev versus Bivol, the official prediction. I'm your host of Fighters Rep, Fez, alongside the Richmond Heights legend, none other than Ignorant Behavior, Gary. Gary, how are you doing, young man?
Doing good, doing good. I had a long day today, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm happy we back at it again.
You're hanging in there. You're hanging in there. We got a little testosterone left, so here we are. So listen, before I get started on this, Gary, Fighters Rep, 27 tickets go on sale tomorrow, right? For everybody who wants to get tickets to this event, it's going to be an incredible event. Already, Gary, I've got 3 title fights lined up, and let me just share them with you real quick, Gary. Andrew, the chosen one, Gutierrez out of San Pedro, California. You saw him on that last card versus Sergio Rodriguez. He's getting a title fight against Stuart Smith out of Manny Mancha's Kickboxing, coming down from Northern California. These are 2 seasoned young warriors, and I can't wait for this fight. It's for the vacant super lightweight title that Jason Granado used to own. So I'm really excited about this fight, right? We've also got Aaron Hotwater Fawcett, your favorite nickname in the fight game, coming out from Las Vegas, Gary, and he's bringing the heat with him, and he's going to need it because he's taking on Edgar Faraga out of Classic Fight Team, man. That's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. And listen to this one, Gary. He's back after over a year out of the Lions Den. He is back. Joshua the Crook Caldwell out of Blackbeard Kickboxing, stepping back into the Lions Den to take on Tariq Redstead Wright for the Fighters Rep super middleweight title, 172 pounds. Gary, doesn't get sexier than those 3 fights, Gary, and I'm telling you, you are absolutely nuts if you don't fly your ass out to California, Gary, and get tickets for this event. They go on sale tomorrow.
Hey, I've been talking to the wifey. I'm thinking about it to get down there. Yeah, I got my cousin over there.
You gotta come visit. You gotta come visit, bro.
I'm seriously thinking about it. Just know that.
yeah, I love it. I love it. So anyway, really excited about that. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at fightersrep.com, or you could smash any of the bio links in our Instagram and get there. So Gary, this fight's happening. I mean, there's nothing too big happening next week or this Saturday coming up, right, in the world of boxing, which is basically, what is that, the 5th of October. But on the 12th, we've got this big one, man. We've got this big one, Gary. Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol looking to unify at light heavyweight. And, man, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, it's Riyadh season. It's big money bag season. There's no big backs on this one. This is just ripped to the bone, ready to go. 2 warriors, man. 2 undefeated guys, Gary. What is your thoughts on this fight, Gary? I mean, it doesn't get better than this. It really doesn't.
You already know. I ain't changed since this fight came out that they was gonna do it. And when it was projected, I ain't changed. I got Bivol. I just feel like Bivol he's a little bit better technician. He's quicker feet. Now Beterbiev, he can win the fight because he has bombs in his hands, and when he touches anybody, obviously he hurts him. He hurts him bad. But I've seen him be outboxed. He normally walks a person down and beats him up. I just think that Bivol is just a different monster. Bivol has been in there with Canelo. And even though Canelo's a lighter guy, it's 175, but Canelo's knocked out what was the Crusher? Kovalev. Canelo still has power.
Same weight class, Kovalev.
Yeah. He has power, and he's taking Canelo's power, dished it back out. Now, I think at this weight, Beterbiev is a different monster as far as power-wise.
Oh, yeah.
But I still think Bivol, his movement, his timing, his quick hands, I think he's just I'm trying to go back to picking the better boxer. Because I didn't pick the better boxer when it was Errol Spence and Bud, and you laughed at me. Because you're like, you normally always do that. You know, and
you went against your own instincts. You went against your own instincts and learned a valuable lesson on that one, bro.
And the thing is, Bivol has power too, though. It's not like he doesn't have any power. But I'm going Bivol. I know who you're going with. Go ahead.
You know, so it's your view that Bivol is the better boxer, the better technician.
Yeah.
You know, here's what I'll say about that, man. I think there's an argument to be made there, right? Because Bivol is a really good technician. He's got that in and out, like newer Russian style, you know, where they bounce in and out, and
kind of Pacquiao-ish.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's a fun style, and it's a lot, but it depends a lot on rhythm and on athleticism. I think you can't just be you got to be an athlete to pull off that sort of style.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
You can't be a stiff doing that style. But here's the thing, man. Like, I don't believe that because his style is more athletic, he's technically the better boxer here. You know, in this fight, I think they're both really good boxers. You know, let's not forget how many amateur fights Beterbiev has as well. You know, I just think Beterbiev's style is a bit of a different style. And I think a lot of people, you know, maybe including yourself right now, you know, they look at athleticism, right? The way you looked at Plant versus Benavidez, you thought Plant was the better boxer. I think Benavidez is the better boxer. The way I see it is you don't always have to be on the move or full of rhythm or full of movement to be the better boxer, right? So in my opinion, you know, I've seen Beterbiev sit back and let that opponent burn that energy, burn that candle, and get it to the point where there's no energy left and just start clipping guys, you know, because as the fight progresses, these guys get tired. And, you know, maybe Beterbiev just doesn't believe he needs to be on the move all the time to box well. I mean, you know, you look at a guy, for example, we look at Floyd, right? Floyd wasn't moving around like that all the time. You know, he was sitting back defensively, waiting for you to make a mistake. I think Beterbiev is a very technical boxer. I just think he's misunderstood as far as his technique. You know, I do think he's a guy that sits back. He understands his distance. He knows when to explode. He commits when he has to commit. I think that's what makes him dangerous in this fight. They're almost like each other's. It's like yin versus yang in this one to me. You know what I mean, Gary?
Yeah. I mean, for me, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, so, I mean, you know, there's a couple things, and I think it's going to be potentially a close fight, but I can see Beterbiev. For me, I think Beterbiev might pull away in the second half of the fight and maybe hurt Bivol, maybe even stop him, or I could see Bivol winning a tight decision because his cardio and he's in such good shape. You know what I mean? But I think it's going to be either one or the other. It's going to be either Beterbiev lands something big and hurts him later on in the fight, like he always does. Like, you know, he typically gets guys out of there, or Bivol is able to touch his way to a unanimous decision. I mean, it's possible that he could knock Beterbiev out, but we've never really seen him get knocked out. We've seen him get dropped a couple times here and there, but I don't think that's going to be Bivol's game plan in this. I think it's going to be stick and move. I just think this is such a high-level fight, you know, between two guys that really know what they're doing. And a couple of things that I got to consider in going into this fight is the fact that, you know, we got to look at their age, Gary, right? We got to look at their age.
I was going to bring that up.
Bivol is 33 years old, right? So he's no spring chicken, but he's taking on a 39-year-old Artur Beterbiev. I mean, almost 40. This dude's almost touching 40. The other thing I think we got to look at is, you know, I'm seeing that they're almost the same exact height, and you can see that when they're facing off. But apparently, Beterbiev has a 1-inch reach advantage, right? Despite maybe being half an inch shorter, he's got a 1-inch reach advantage. The other thing I look at, Gary, is this fight was postponed, and I believe the fight was postponed because Beterbiev got hurt. You know,
I was gonna bring that up too.
what's this 40-year-old body looking like, Gary? After being injured, taking some time off, having to come back, doing this fight in a couple weeks, what's it look like? Listen, he hasn't really shown me that he's losing a step, right? In the fights where I felt like he lost a step, he comes back in the next fight and proves me wrong. Oh, he's still got that fountain of youth, which is his work ethic. So I don't know. This one's a bit of a toss-up for me. I'll lean towards Beterbiev just because he's so strong, and I don't believe he's got the chance to kind of burn his energy. But I can see Bivol winning this fight too.
Well, here's my thing is, I'm not saying Bivol is the better boxer because of his athleticism, right? Yeah. I'm saying it because if you had to choose, who do you think has the better defense, Bivol or Beterbiev?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly,
you don't know.
I haven't seen either one of them really.
You said you've seen Beterbiev get dropped.
Yeah.
Have we? I don't recall, but no, I think he might have got dropped one time. Bivol.
Well, I mean, Bivol has had a couple lazy performances before.
Yeah, but his defense, if you look at his defense, I feel like his defense, I feel like Beterbiev gets hit more than Bivol, like clean shots.
Yeah.
And I think Bivol defense is better. Mm-hmm. I think both of them use timing because I think Beterbiev, he uses timing, the counter punching, timing, walking you down. He times. He's not a. When I say Bivol is better than him, that's not saying that he's a trash boxer. No, you don't become what you become and walk people down because you're trash. Because he's not one of these flat foot boxers that just walk in there and just get pummeled. He is flat foot, but he doesn't get just destroyed. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying when you look at defensive wise, offensive wise, I think Bivol is the faster fighter. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah.
And I think that defensive wise, he's the more sound fighter defensive wise, you know? And so I think the movement, even Canelo doesn't want to fight somebody who has movement like that. He doesn't like it. It gives him problems. When we talk about Lara, when we talk about Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo, and he didn't want to fight people who move around and like that because it gives you problems when you're a flat foot boxer because you have to walk them down. They keep moving and moving and moving. You can't really set up your shot.
But we did see that with Beterbiev versus Vazdik, right? Who was kind of similar a little bit to Bivol.
But do you think Vazdik is as good as Bivol? Now it's levels to it. Now it's levels to it.
I think when Vazdik fought Beterbiev, he was up there. I'm not maybe not as good, but he was close because remember he was also Olympic bronze medalist. He was undefeated at the time. You know, he fought Adonis Stevenson. They took each other to hell and back. And I mean, these guys almost killed each other in there. This guy was a solid, technical, sound boxer. And Beterbiev was able to break him down, and
early in the fight, though, he landed some shots on Beterbiev.
Yeah.
He was getting some shots in.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I just think what you need to account for when you fight this guy, right, is his power it's like, it's kind of like fighting a Deontay Wilder, except the guy can box, right? And so if he hits you, I don't think Bivol's ever been in there with someone that can hit that hard. I don't think Canelo can hit like Beterbiev. I don't think anyone can.
Obviously Beterbiev is a bigger guy, so I think he hits harder than Canelo. Yeah. But let's not mistake it. Canelo can hit. Canelo can thump.
My thing is, how's Bivol? It's like a tale of two questions, right? How's Bivol going to react when he gets hit by this guy? I want to see that. And then I also want to see, how Bivol's going to keep this guy off of him because, he's going to be trying to walk him down the whole time. If Bivol's moving around, Beterbiev's going to try to if he doesn't hit Beterbiev with something hard to earn his respect, he's just going to get walked down like everyone else, dude.
But
He can't move around.
I've seen Beterbiev fight and get backed up a little bit. I've seen him get Vosnik backed him up a little bit. It's like you can land shots on him. You can back him up. And like I said, Canelo, who has a great chin, I seen Bivol back him up.
Yeah.
Back him up at times. Canelo was a stalking, but at times Canelo was like, oh, shot. And I don't care who you is, you get hit with some shots. And like I said, Bivol, it isn't like he doesn't have any power. It's not like he's a pillow hand fighter. He can hit you and hurt you. He's not Beterbiev with the power, but he has enough power to make you respect him.
We're talking about a guy who's 23-0 with 12 knockouts versus a guy who's 20-0 with 20 knockouts. I mean, Beterbiev has a 100% knockout ratio. Gary, 100%. And he's not fighting, tomato cans either, man. I mean, he's fought some pretty tough guys. They both have. He's fought some tough guys. I mean, Callum Smith, Anthony Yard, Joe Smith Jr., Marcus Brown, Vosdik, Kalajic, Callum Johnson. You go back, Gabriel Campillo, Tavoris Cloud. I mean, this guy has finished all these guys brutally.
Which one of those fighters you just named that you think is good as Bivol? I don't think any of those fighters are close to Bivol. I don't think any of them are close to Bivol.
I think Vosdik, when he was good.
Vosdik was good, but I still don't think he's Bivol. Anthony Yard was good, but I don't think he's Bivol.
Campillo was good.
Yeah, but I don't think
Joe Smith Jr. was good too, man.
Yeah, but I don't think these guys are on Bivol's level, though.
No. I would say the closest was, Campillo was good, and so was Tavoris Cloud. But I would say Vosdik is probably the best. The best.
I agree. Vosnik is probably the best guy he fought. But
let's take a look, right? Let's take a look at Dimitri Bivol's resume, right? Malik Zanad, Lyndon Arthur, Gilberto Ramirez is respectable, Sordo Ramirez, and Canelo Alvarez, of course, But before that, Umar Salamov, Craig Richards, Lennon Castillo, Joe Smith.
He just fought. Who did he fight after Canelo? Because he's supposed to fight Beterbiev, and Beterbiev got hurt. Who did he fight in that? I forgot who it was.
Gilberto Sordo Ramirez.
Okay, so that was him.
Okay. He's got Pascal on his resume, but Pascal was past his prime. Sullivan Barrera was also past his prime. So I would actually, I would probably lean slightly towards Beterbiev's resume being a better resume. But look, we've got so many things to consider, right? The age, the injury, the speed. I agree with you. I think the speed's, he's definitely quicker.
I just, like you said, I don't really think either one of them have fought like elite talent. They fought good fighters, but because at that weight, you know, everybody at different weight classes, you have different, obstacles. And certain weight classes are stacked, and certain ones are like right now we have 154 starting to get stacked. 147 was a glamour division. Now it's kind of
they're all gaining weight.
Yeah, now 154 is hot. 160.
They ate too many tacos. They're 154 now, everybody.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you have it at 175. I don't really think they have a whole lot of pound for pound greats, elites. But with that being saying, I said a whole lot. I'm not saying they don't have any.
Bro,
I don't think they have
Beterbiev and Bivol are both in the pound for pound.
Yeah, those two. After you get rid of those two, that's why we want to see those two fight. Who is pound for pound elite besides those two?
Yeah, well,
exactly.
There's not too many divisions. I don't think there's even too many divisions with two guys that are this good.
I'm just saying when you had 147, you had Keith Thurman, you had Errol Spence, you had Bud Crawford, you had Danny Garcia, you had Sean Porter. You had
crazy.
a bunch of that was crazy. And even if you look at heavyweight right now, you have you go on and you look at heavyweight, you had Anthony Joshua. Now you got Dubois, however you say his name.
Fury, Usyk,
but you had Fury, Usyk. You know, you have a bunch of people. You had Jared and Gerald coming up. You had some fights that was questionable.
Let's put Bacoli's name out there because Bacoli deserves credit, bro.
Yeah, Bacoli. Bacoli. I'm saying you have certain divisions that are heating up.
Yeah.
And at 154, you now have Errol, you now have Bud, you now have the Tower and Inferno.
You
have Tim, not Tim Zoo, but
Victor Ortiz. Is it Virgil Ortiz?
Virgil Ortiz.
There.
And Tim Zoo. And Tim Zoo shouldn't allow us to, in my opinion, you have a bunch of great fights there.
Yeah.
Every division doesn't have that. You know what I mean? So even when you had Tank, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, and the Pitbull, you had all them. You had I'm trying to think. I'm missing somebody. What's his name? That's now going crazy now. Tio.
Oh, okay.
You had a bunch of fighters. You have divisions like that. I don't see 175 like that. I think you have Bivol and Beterbiev.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then you might have Benavidez moving up at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
Eduardo Dufau says Beterbiev versus Bivol looks like the best fight of the last years. The age of Beterbiev is the only doubt. 3 years ago, Beterbiev would win. Then he says Vosdik was winning or a very competitive fight. Then he says Triple G was the only one that was similar to Beterbiev before he fought Jacobs and Canelo. Yeah. I'll say this, Gary. Triple G, man. Triple G is a guy who definitely deserves a lot of respect, man. I felt like Triple G in his prime was a problem, bro. That guy was.
Arguably he beat Canelo.
Yeah, I thought
in the first one. I thought he beat him.
Yeah, I thought so too. But
I don't really see nobody ever trash Triple G.
No. No, they did it. They barely beat him. It's because he got old. Canelo beat him because he got old.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Beterbiev Bivol, man. It's such a very interesting fight. It's so cool to see, and shout out to Sheikh Turkey. It's so cool to see, the best fighting the best in boxing. It's going down in Saudi Arabia, Gary. Maybe they fly us out there at some point, Gary. But it's going down in Saudi Arabia, October 12th, which is in 2 weeks, not this Saturday coming up, the one after. And it's the two best 175-pounders in the world. Is there anything going on over there, Gary? Am I missing out on something?
My wife's over here. She's bending over and stuff, picking up stuff, and it's catching my eye. I think she's doing it on purpose.
Oh my God. Well, she was. We did have the pleasure of having her at Fighters Rep 26. And it was
just be careful because she's listening right now. She's tuned into what you're saying.
And it was very cool having the both of you there, man. I really appreciated it. That's all I'm gonna say.
She just said we had fun.
I like it.
But no, no, I think this. I kind of agree. This is light, in my opinion. Errol Spence versus Bud Crawford.
Yeah, and Gary,
this is that big.
Gary, it's to unify IBF, WBC, WBO, and WBA light heavyweight titles on the line, Gary. What other fight besides
Errol Spence and Bud can you think that maybe Usyk and Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
Usyk, Tyson Fury.
That's right.
But Wilder, Tyson Fury. But in the last, how many fights is as big as this?
Yeah, no, this is a big one. And the funny thing is this one is for the hardcore fans, right? Because I don't think the casuals know about it, guys.
I was just gonna say that too. You read my mind.
Yeah, this is for the men's club right here. This is for Knucklehead Nation. You know what I mean? This is for us, you know?
It's
This
a
is the
lot of
fight we want.
casuals that have no idea how big this fight is or understand how great these two fighters are. That
Yeah.
this is an exciting fight. And, you know, even Joshua versus Dubois. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Whatever.
Yeah, you are. No, that's perfect. That was perfect.
He hit me like, what about this guy? Who is this guy? I'm like, hey, he can knock.
Yeah.
He's a good fighter. I mean, I don't think he's beating Anthony Joshua, but I was wrong about that. But
yeah. And
it's certain fights like this.
And Eduardo Defao saying it's a lot better than Spence versus Crawford, which, you know, I'll agree only because I thought Crawford wiped Spence out so easily. And I just don't see that happening here. I mean, it's possible. It's possible we'll have to wait until afterwards.
Well, when I say, I'm sorry to cut you off. When I say big of a fight, I'm not talking about the results of what happened. I'm talking about before we saw the fight. Most people were saying 50-50. We want to see this. This is huge. Now, after the fight, it wasn't that great of a fight.
Right. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Spence versus Crawford was the biggest fight. I think it's even bigger than this fight, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Spence and Crawford had so much popularity behind them too. You know what I mean? These guys don't have that. That's why it's like a hardcore fight fans a fight. But I think like the levels is it's like the same. Like the level is the same. You know, as far as
I compare it to like this is my thing. I compare it to. It's like if you got Beyonce to sleep with Beyonce. And you're expecting or Rihanna, and you're like, yo. Now, after the fact you had sex with him, you're like, yo, that was basic. That was, she wasn't that good in bed. But leading up to it, you can't say that you weren't telling the whole world, look, I'm finna smash Beyonce. I didn't know it was gonna be trash, but that's what I was thinking about. And then you go and you get a lesser tier known person, but they're good. You know, they're good at the craft. You know, you go and get you a Sierra. You go get you a Sierra, and you're like, whoa, that it would. I mean, Sierra's not Beyonce, but y'all don't know what y'all missing. That's what the you know, you never know. It looks pretty on paper. Everything looks pretty on paper.
I get it. And on the undercard, we got some really couple exciting fights here. We got Chris Eubank Jr. taking on Camille Cerameta at middleweight. We got Fabio Wardley, a heavyweight. Gary, you were talking about heavyweights earlier.
Yeah.
Fabio Wardley is definitely a guy to watch out for. And so is the guy.
Yeah, I see him. He's nice.
Fraser Clark. They're having a rematch for Wardley's British heavyweight title. I think it was like a draw the last time they fought. So they're running it back. And these are two bad dudes. Is
that the fight that Wardley no, that was another fight that he dropped.
Yeah, and then there's Jai Opataya versus Jack Massey for Opataya's cruiserweight title. Opataya looks really good. I think you've seen him recently as well. He's looked pretty damn good recently. So, you know, I'm excited about these fights, man. This is a great card, but man.
It's too bad Shakur had to pull out. Shakur was on this card.
Oh, he was going to be on it?
Till he messed up his hand.
Who was he going to fight? Tank Davis?
I'm not sure, but I know for a fact, I follow him on Twitter. He was like, I'm mad I can't fight on the undercard of the Beterbiev fight.
Did you hear that Tank Davis is fighting Lamont Roach next?
Yeah, I heard that.
What do you think about that fight?
I think it's a stay busy fight. I think that some of the things, I think Tank probably would have preferred to fight Lomachenko, but Lomachenko had some other things. Said, nah, the Shakur Stevenson fight, they talked about it, but I don't think that they feel it's the right time. Plus, Shakur just had surgery on his hand because Shakur put up 2 duds and then he had surgery on his hand. So I think they're going to wait and do that fight later. But I just don't feel like I know he tried to get, what's his name at the 140 pounder to beat Pitbull. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. You know what I'm talking about. He just beat Ryu, yeah. But they were saying Ryu's not going down to 135, which I respect. Ryu's like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm the champ at 140. So I respect it. You know, some people try to say Tank's try to drain him. I don't think that's the case. I just think Tank tried to give a good fight.
What do you think about this fight against Lamont Roach, man? Like, what are we doing here, Gary?
I think it's just to stay busy. He don't have anybody else. Who else could he fight that you would say that's a great fight right now? Who else could he pick?
There's got to be someone better, man. Come on, Gary. There's got to be someone. You know, there's got to be someone. I mean, this is.
I'm asking you. Who do you think?
I don't know.
He asked Ryu to come down, and Ryu was like, "Nah, I'm not coming down. If we're gonna fight, we got to do it at 140."
Maybe fight.
I respect.
I don't know. Couldn't he fight like someone else, man? Like Paro? Maybe that guy Paro or someone. I mean, I don't know.
Is
like,
Paro willing to come down to 135? Because it seems like Tank doesn't want to go to 140 right now.
I see. Well, I don't know, man. I just feel like this is
Is nobody left on 135? Everybody bailed on 135 except for Shakur as a big name. Maybe Zepeda, but Zepeda has another fight with somebody else.
I just think the fans are not going to be happy with this fight, man. I don't think they're going to be happy with this fight.
It's not a great fight. I don't think you're going to make that much money, but it is what it is.
You know, we've been wanting to see this guy fight like a big name for a long time. You know what I mean? And for me to hear Lamont Roach, I mean, shout out to Lamont Roach. I hope he gets the bag. I hope he gets the money. I hope he makes it an exciting fight. You know, but
he's coming up on 130. He's coming up on 130.
Yeah, and he lost to Jamel Herring, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see Tank in there with somebody, man. I want to see him in there with somebody to give him a run. You know?
Only way you're gonna see that is if he goes up to one. If he fights Shakur Stevenson at 135, or he goes up. I mean, I guess you can fight. Honestly, if he's gonna fight Lamont Roach, he could have fought Keyshawn. He could have fought a guy like that. I mean, because you're saying Keyshawn isn't on your list, but
my guy, that's my guy, man.
He's better than he's better than Lamont Roach, who has to move up a weight class. Yeah, if you're gonna fight Lamont Roach, you might as well fight Keyshawn because he's been begging to fight you.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
I mean,
I like Keyshawn, man. Keyshawn's got balls on him.
No, I like Keyshawn. I don't like him better than Tank, but I like him.
Yeah, I know. I like Tank a lot too, man. But Keyshawn's down to fight. He should fight him. But anyway, Gary, you know, that's pretty much all I got today, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited about this upcoming Fighters Rep event, Fighters Rep 27. We're gonna do. You're probably gonna be asleep, but tomorrow 9 p.m. Pacific, I'm doing a press conference between Edgar Fraga and Hot Water Faucet.
Oh yeah,
I want to sit them down and talk to them because those are two really entertaining young fighters, and I think they're gonna bring it on November 23rd at Fighters Rep 27. And it looks like, you know, because the venue where we were doing the last, you know, Fighters Rep show in South Florida doesn't have a lot of life left on it. I think the venue's going to be moving soon because that entire area is being turned into like a storage facility or something. We may have found a venue. I'm not going to disclose it yet until it's, you know, wrapped up, but there may be something further south, way down south in Miami. So, you know, hopefully we can make that work or find another venue in South Florida so we can keep that show going because the energy there was wild, Gary. I mean, that was That was a fun night of fights, man. That's all I got for you, Gary. You got anything else for these guys or what?
Nah, man, you know, I'm beat. I had a long day at work. I'm here doing this. I'm beat. I'm finna, you know, give me something in my belly real quick.
I hear you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got. Be sure to join us next Monday and maybe tomorrow for the press conference between Hot Water Faucet and Edgar Fraga. We'll see you then. Appreciate you, Gary. Thank you, big dog.
No problem, man.
All right.